Welcome to the
New York City.
Pinstripe territory. Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Joining me tonight is Clint Pasillas from Dodgers territory and from All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas. Kudos to you for entering hostile territory tonight.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on, Derek. I'm very, very happy to be talking with you. Very happy to be talking Dodger baseball heading into a World Series. 48 hours away to steal your line. It's a fun time to be a baseball fan and be Dodgers fans and Yankees fans for us all.
Yeah, your co-host Alana was ticked off that she thought she didn't get an invite. I sent her an invite through work channels. She's mad I didn't text her. I told her the only celebrities I feel comfortable texting first were O.J. Simpson and Betty White, so I'm shit out of luck. So, anyway, it is what it is.
We got plenty of series to go through. Riz, she's got some time to fill, and is always looking to talk Dodger baseball.
Yeah, we were talking about how this is going to be a great series, and I truly think it will be. I threw some red meat to the Twitter fans. I said, Yankees in 5. I know you said the same thing, Dodgers in 5. But in the green room, we were talking. We both agree this is going to be a really, really good series. So, it's funny. I listened to almost every episode of Dodgers Territory Live, and, I have to say, about 60% of the women that I've dated have told me that I don't listen. It might have been 100%. I might not have been listening 40% of the time. But I listen to every word you guys have to say. And so I wanted to have you on because you know everything there is to know about the Dodgers. So let's begin with the Game 1 starter, the Game 1 matchup, honestly. Jack Flaherty, somebody that the Yankees almost picked up at the trade deadline. They backed out, but he pitched pretty well for the Dodgers down the stretch. I heard he had a tough outing last time out. I didn't watch the game. What should we expect from Jack Flaherty in World Series Game 1?
Yeah, with Flaherty, he wasn't as good as Detroit version of Flaherty that we saw this year. He was still very good, coming over to LA in the regular season. But this year, or in the postseason, it's been a little bit, a mixed bag. He's had one really, really good start. I got the note on here, 7 scoreless innings against the Mets in his Game 1 start. But other than that, a couple of stinkers. They attributed his last start against the Mets, the Game 5 start against the Mets, as he was sick. The Dodgers been kind of going to some excuses when their starters haven't done very, very, very well this postseason. So we'll say he was sick, but so far when he's on, he's been electric, and he's been that guy that maybe early in the season was in some Cy Young conversations in the American League, but still very, very good starting pitcher. And when you're talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers, the medical tape there. It's a MASH unit there for the Dodgers. 15 starting pitchers on the IL, most of them out for the season. With Flaherty starting in Game 1, it's kind of one of those. It's what you got, and thank God they have him, and I appreciate the Yankees pulling out of that deal, because if not, the Dodgers would be in very, very dire straits right now heading into Game 1.
So there's a number of guys that the Yankees were linked to over the past year, obviously, among them Flaherty, Michael Kopech, Yamamoto, who we'll talk about in a second. They're all playing for the Dodgers right now, so this can be an interesting series for a lot of reasons. I got to say, Garrett Cole has been kind of so-so this postseason. He had one really good outing, and then he had a couple where he went about 4 2/3, gave up 2 runs. You don't see him get mashed too often. Like, he doesn't usually throw, 2 innings and give up 7 runs. That's just typically not going to happen for him, although it has happened. It happened against the Red Sox probably a month and a half ago. He put 4 fingers up, told Rafael Devers to go to first base, and that kind of, unleashed the fury in Boston. But for the most part, he's going to keep the Yankees in the game. He doesn't have that high-octane 99, at will anymore. You might see it once or twice a game. And, if he gets up against Shohei in the 5th inning with the bases loaded, you're going to see 99 at the letters, and we're going to see what Shohei is made of. But I think that, this game, like the whole series, could go either way based on how either pitcher shows up. I want to talk a little bit about Yamamoto, though. He was electric at Yankee Stadium. That might have been the best opposing start I saw from a pitcher against the Yankees all year. Talk a little bit about his season. I know he had an injury, but I don't recall what it was, and how he's looked so far in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, mostly very, very good for Yamamoto in season one here in Major League Baseball. But, postseason wise, like, the start to his professional career, his MLB career, he threw up a stinker there against the Padres. What was it, 5 earned and 3 against the Padres in game one? But since, he's been very good. 2 earned over his last 9 1/3 innings. That's 2 starts. It's about what you're going to get out of him. Did have a rotator cuff injury that kept him out for the better part of, I think it was nearly 3 months. Shortly after, I think, the Yankees start, that high point. And I mean, I found myself for most of the season, and Derek, obviously you watch a lot of Dodgers territory, and I'm sorry you have to do that here and there, but we talked and we just kept putting that in our brain, like, we understand all of the issues with the starting rotation that the Dodgers had heading into the postseason, even heading into September. And if you're able to get Yoshinobu Yamamoto back, and if he's anything close, just anything close to what you saw there in against the Yankees there in Yankee Stadium, hostile territory, you're going to be really, really good. You're going to feel good. You know you got an ace on the bump. But again, it's been a little bit, I'll call it wishy-washy. I'm going to go back to old FRG. I used to use the wishy-washy word a lot, or expression a lot, when I was talking Cody Bellinger coming off of his 2017 season. He was phenomenal. 2018 down. Of course, we know what happened in 19. Yamamoto kind of had that, some struggles here and there. As long as he has that splitter working, he's got to work almost reverse. That's his biggest thing. If he's throwing a lot of fastballs early, he's going to get beat, especially at Yankee Stadium, which, as you very well know, the ball flies out at Yankee Stadium, especially to right field. So if he can work off of the sweeper, curveball, and mainly that splitter, and then have the fastball be the punch, he's going to be in a really, really good spot against, I guess, Carlos Rodon going for you in game 2.
Yes, that's game 2. That's in L.A. So I read, or maybe I saw it, no, it was Rosenthal today, said that they would probably try and give Yamamoto only starts in L.A. in this series. He would start game 2 and 6 so that he could get that extra rest because of the built-in travel days. So that keeps him on 5 days rest, right? So you might not see him at Yankee Stadium. I will say this, though. I agree with you about the fastball thing. I was watching a Lance Brzezowski video that was talking about like how the different teams match up, and the Yankees are above average in everything on hunting fastballs this year. I mean, it's something that you can tell from the eye test, but another thing you can tell from the eye test is they really struggle against guys who can throw breaking balls for strikes. There are some pitchers, that they'll work backwards, right? They'll try and get strike one with a curveball. Maybe they'll come back with a changeup or a split or a cut or something like that in strike 2. And maybe they'll try and finish you off with the fastball, finish you off with the splitter. I feel like Yamamoto, if he can pitch backwards and throw strikes with the breaking ball, he's going to have a lot of success. But if he's throwing fastballs early in the count, especially if he's not, tight with his command, the Yankees might be all over him. So yeah, it's going to be it's coin toss at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could say the same for both sides here. Starting pitching hasn't been phenomenal for either team so far this postseason. The Yankees far and away better. The Dodgers have had to rely on some openers in there. They haven't done great. Kopech gave up a run in the Dodgers, ultimately that clincher there against the Mets in Game 6. Brazier had a tough start or open against the Mets in there. But when they've been right, when these guys have been right, one of those was an 8, you got to go out there and eat it, kid, 8-run outing from Jack Flaherty in his most recent start where he was ill because they couldn't burn the bullpen. So it's a little misleading to see the Dodgers with a 6.08 starting rotation ERA in 40 innings. But I would imagine you feel pretty similar in saying a lot of this series, as we see most World Series these days, it's going to come down to the bullpen and who's going to be the hottest, the hottest arm down there, and who's not going to get overexposed in a series like this.
That was interesting. It was strange to watch it unfold against the Guardians because they were going to their bullpen early. They were doing that against Detroit also. And you just had the feeling, hey, once this series goes along and the Yankees have seen these guys 2-3 times, sometimes getting 2 at-bats in a game against the same reliever, it's like, oh my goodness, we could have a situation where they're overexposed, and that's exactly what happened to the best bullpen in baseball. Who is closing things down for you guys? Is it mostly Kopech or?
So what I love about it, and my co-host, Dodgers Territory co-host Alana Rizzo does not like it or did not like it entering the postseason. They don't necessarily have an official closer. Michael Kopech was that guy. He picked up the lion's share of saves towards the end of the regular season, but Dave Roberts, the Dodgers have kind of thrown that book out. If anybody, what we've seen, the guy we've seen most towards the end of games has been Blake Trinan, who's absolutely disgusting. If you follow Pitching Ninja, most people know Trinan has been filthy, but you have a guy who was closing for the better part of the last 2.5 years in Evan Phillips, picking up random innings in there. A big loss for the team has been Alex Vesia. Really need him back because I know the Yankees do struggle a good bit against left-handed pitching, and there's another advantage for New York. Dodgers do not have a lefty starter, and as of this moment, officially there is only one lefty in the bullpen. But the fact that you're able to mix and match, Kopech can get a ninth inning, or he can get a first inning, a third inning, and the same with Trinan being wherever the hell they need him. It's been really fun to watch a masterclass. I'm overusing the word, but a masterclass postseason for Dave Roberts, picking the right lanes for anybody. It is very much an all hands on deck, not just waiting for your closer and the ninth inning.
Let's talk a little bit about the offense. The one area that I think we kind of lucked out as Yankees fans, and you hate to see anybody be compromised by injury, is that Freddie Freeman doesn't seem to be 100% with that ankle. I watched him a few times, just not moving around well. Kind of, I heard someone describe him as a mummy. Just doesn't, maybe Frankenstein is more appropriate. But what are your thoughts on his ankle? Is he going to be ready to even play in this series? Do you expect much out of him? And will they continue to put him in an important spot of the order?
The order one, that's the one I'm the least sure about. He will be in the lineup for game one. If anything, now we're nearly a month removed from that ankle injury where they said, could be 4 to 6 weeks, but that would be with heavy rest. He has not got heavy rest. It's going to be, I think, more of the same for Freddie. He will be in there when he can. Thankfully, Max Muncy has done phenomenally, sliding over to first base, playing it for the first time since a devastating elbow injury in 2021, playing it looking very good there. And Kike Hernandez, a lot of people know about postseason Kike, so it hasn't been a huge blow, which is crazy to say because you're talking about a guy who's a career 285 postseason hitter with an OPS almost 1,000 entering this postseason. Freddie Freeman is very good at hitting a baseball, but more so the ankle isn't what's affecting him. His swing, just as in his own words, was not right. It wasn't very good or up to his standards for a lot of the year. So you didn't see as much in the way of the double. You didn't see as much in the way of some of the slug in there. And for his standards, the average was down. He's not somebody who's going to be a very good dancer. They make a whole joke out of the dance or whatever. He's not the smoothest boy when he's fully healthy. Definitely looks like he's, you maybe got to put him down. He's not racing in the Santa Anita or anytime or anything like that.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Heads are falling off. But it's one of those things a few years ago, 2021, the Dodgers, everybody was getting hurt, up to and including Justin Turner. Hamstring gives on him, and you're like, man, this is really bad. You feel that 3 days before the postseason starts. Freddie Freeman, the ankle gives. It has not been a major problem, and I'm hoping it stays the same way.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see who steps up. Max Muncy's played a little bit of first base, right? I mean, he's obviously having a big postseason, frequent guest on Foul Territory, which everybody should subscribe to. Let's talk a little bit about the X factors, right? I mean, so we agreed kind of in the green room, we're going to throw out Shohei and we're going to throw out Judge. We're going to throw out Stanton, we're going to throw out Soto, and we're going to throw out Mookie Betts and Tommy Edman, like the big 6 stars for these two teams over the last week. Who is somebody kind of, maybe a forgotten name, maybe somebody that Yankees fans haven't seen a lot of, that could step up and be a big factor in this series?
So heading into this postseason, I had an X factor on my list, on my board here to my right, and it was going to be Will Smith. He's been mostly missing in action this postseason, calling phenomenal games behind the dish. But if you can get Will Smith going, taking advantage of that short porch there at Yankee Stadium, I think he can do something special. And if he's able to keep keep that line moving towards the bottom of the lineup now, you're going to be in a really, really good spot as a Los Angeles Dodger fan. So I'm going to go Will Smith. I'm going to stick with my guy. We entered the postseason with him, and I'm hoping we end the postseason in a good note with him.
Doesn't he have 4 straight championships or something like that?
Well, there is a Will Smith that has won.
You got 2 Will Smiths?
There was a 20. There's a 20 Will Smith. That is the Dodgers catcher, Will Smith. There's a 24 Will Smith who is entering the World Series. Dodgers catcher Will Smith. Hopefully it's that guy. Or there's that lefty reliever who just goes everywhere they're about to win with Will Smith, the very, very grizzled veteran lefty. But he's not there anymore, and we still got one in there.
Okay. And we also got, the Fresh Prince Will Smith, out there in LA. So I think
I hear he slapped.
He does slap. Yesterday, I had one of the Yankees beat writers on. I told him my X factor was Anthony Volpe, their shortstop. Young guy, didn't really have a great season, but he's been getting on base at a really good clip in the postseason. He's hitting near the bottom of the order. He had a big hit against Clase, picked up a single, hit him really well. He seems to hit those high velo guys pretty well. Not a great breaking ball hitter. Great defender. He's a guy who can step up. And also Jazz Chisholm. I'm sure you're familiar with Jazz, having played him in the National League a lot of times. He has not done anything this postseason. He hit 1 meaningless home run against the Royals in Game 2, in which they lost. But if he gets hot, he has shown at times this year that he can be electric. And the time when the Yankees were playing the best was in a sweep of the Phillies right around the trade deadline time, where they were putting up 10 runs a night. And Jazz Chisholm was absolutely on fire. So those are my 2 guys. I think about...
If I have a Yankee, by the way, I'm watching, it is former Dodger Alex Verdugo. Still feels very scorned by his old ball club, and he has played well against these Doyers in past meetings. So that's one guy as a Dodger fan. Of the many big names the Yankees have in that lineup, Doogie can't be somebody you let beat you.
Yeah, he's got that FU plus metric in him, doesn't he? There was a game against the Red Sox this year, his first game back in Boston, and he hit a big go-ahead home run about midway through the game, 6th or 7th inning, to give the Yankees a lead. They went on to win, but then he went in a slump for about, I don't know, maybe 4 months. So I don't know. Sounds about right. Right. All right, we're gonna get
hot, as he used to say.
We're gonna get a quick word in a segment I like to call Pay the Light Bill. This is from Huel. And then we'll be back to talk about the guy everybody's excited to see. We'll probably spend 10 minutes on him. And that is Mr. Shohei Otani. Back in 60 seconds. Mornings are nuts, especially when you're doing a voicemail show like I do. No time for breakfast, but you still need to start your day right. What if a delicious, nutritious meal could be ready in just seconds? Support for Pinstripe Territory is brought to you by Huel, the world's #1 complete nutrition brand, trusted by millions with over 400 million meals sold worldwide. Fuel your day with convenient, complete nutrition. Try it yourself with this exclusive offer, 15% off using the code FOUL at Huel.com. Personally, I love the Huel Ultimate Super Greens Powder. It's packed with 91 vitamins, minerals, and whole food ingredients. Their nutrition bars are great. Savory pouches are amazing too. Give it a try. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel's nutritionally complete meals. Focus on what really matters. Again, that's 15% off using the code FOUL at Huel.com. All right. Thanks, everybody, for sticking through that. Let's talk about Shohei Otani. Obviously, the $700 million man. I got to say this, just selfishly, it's nice to not have the biggest contract in baseball on our roster at this point. And I don't know if Juan Soto can eclipse $700 million. He might eclipse the average annual present day value or whatever, but nobody gives a shit about that. They care about $700 million. So I think the record is safe for a minute. What have you seen from him in his first postseason? And obviously he had a terrific season. Maybe educate the Yankees fans who haven't had a chance to watch him every day on the type of player this guy is and why he got that big check.
So, breaking, Shohei Otani is very good at baseball. He's just hitting it this year, but he's hitting the hell out of it. Creates a new club in baseball, that 50-50 club. Stolen base has not been a factor so far for him this postseason. It's been an interesting postseason his first time through. when there's a runner on base, he attacks, and some people are kind of saying maybe this, do you move him down in the lineup where there's more opportunities with runners in scoring position? Of course, you don't do that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But he's two completely different people when there's been a runner on base. But still, what he brings to a lineup, what he lets somebody like a Mookie Betts, who's been the leadoff hitter for the Dodgers for, since he came to LA, last 2-3 postseasons have been very, very rough for Marcus Lynn Betts. So I think for me, it took a lot of pressure off of him to be able to get Shohei in front of him. And, the entering the postseason, it was one of those things where you were worried about the Dodgers kind of living and dying with the long ball and living and dying with Shohei Otani. But then you get, NLCS MVP Tommy Edman stepping up and kind of taking pressure off of everybody. What I'll say is the lineup does not run through Shohei Otani. As a Dodger fan, I say, thank God it does not. But he's still, they put up that little graphic on Fox that says he's 4 batters away, he's 8 batters away, he's 3 days away. There's a reason he do that. He's a fun player to watch, and when he gets a hold of one, ball go far. So he's one of those tinkle guys. You don't pee when he's up. You don't pee when Juan Soto's up. You don't pee when Aaron Judge is up. Those are the guys with big boy power. And, of course, I call him Mike Stanton still to this day. They got the big boy power in there.
Didn't Stanton put one out of Dodger Stadium completely when he was with the Marlins?
Yeah.
Oh, you were at that game.
I was at that game. It's one of those things where you're sitting there, you're just like, wow. And now there's a plaque.
I was at a game last year where Aaron Judge hit 3 home runs, and he went oppo into the upper deck. If you haven't had a chance to watch Aaron Judge on a regular basis, if he's on in this series, you're in for a treat. He's one of those guys, too, though, who attacks fastballs, just absolutely murders fastballs. But you can get him with breaking balls if you place them well, right? So I'm interested to see how this is going to shake out. Is there any chance in your mind that Shohei Otani pitches in this series? I'm going to throw a scenario at you. All right. We got Juan Soto up. Bases loaded. 9th inning of Game 7. Dodgers clinging to a 2-run lead. Out of arms in the bullpen. Does Shohei Otani step up and get the final out? Because that would be an all-time moment to watch Juan Soto walk him off with a grand slam, by the way.
You could write a movie. So you could write a movie to that for sure, especially if the Dodgers win, not like Moneyball where, the hype of the movie was, they won 21 games in a row and that's it. So I've long, much to the detriment of a lot of people or much to the annoyance of a lot of people, including my co-host Alana Rizzo, I've been praying, fingers are crossed, every appendage that I can cross, that maybe Shohei can find a way to get off the bump. Pick up an inning or two in the World Series if we were lucky enough to get there, which the team was able to get there. At this point, you're just not seeing him throw to batters. He's kind of just throwing some flat grounds. You haven't even seen a bullpen in a few days, unless I completely missed something there. I think the idea of what's this? The wrestling move here, and he comes out of left field with either his glove and a ball or maybe a folding chair. I don't think it's going to happen. As much as the Dodgers could use an extra arm in there for fun, I would be now very shocked to see Shohei throwing a baseball or pitching for the Dodgers in a meaningful game.
It's going to be something, though, next year when you guys got Otani pitching and hitting. You got Glasnow back. That's why I think it's important that the Yankees knock you guys off this year, because right now you're a wounded animal that, you're prime for the feast. But next year, I have full faith that you guys will be back to full strength. But that's the beauty of a 162 game season. You never know what's going to happen. Anybody could get hurt. Anybody could be traded. That type of stuff. So I hope it's a really fun series. I wish you guys luck, but not victory.
Yeah, this is fun. This is what we wanted. Baseball fans, baseball deserves this. They didn't deserve, with all due respect, we didn't want to watch another Rangers and Diamondbacks. You didn't want to see that. Even Royals, Cubs, or whatever. You didn't want that. You needed this. 43 years in the making. This is baseball history right now, baby. We're watching Dodgers, Yankees, the number 1, number 2 seed in baseball. That's what you want to see. That's how you put butts in the seats, and that's how we keep bringing more people here to our wonderful network to watch more baseball and hear the good word of Major League Baseball with the best stars, the biggest names playing on the biggest stage.
Well, everybody go ahead and check out Clint's podcast. You have All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas and Dodgers Territory, part of the Foul Territory Network, just like Pinstripe Territory is. On tomorrow, I hear some guy named Derek Lewandowski. So, possibly coming out of the bullpen there with that folding chair. So, we'll see. But we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to a great series. Clint, wish you guys the best of luck. And to everybody who's watching, please like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. What was the thing you said? Let's get to 1 million by the end of the day.
Yep. Get to 1 million by the time he ends this, guys. He deserves it. You've put in a lot of great work, both as NYY recaps and now joining the Foul family. Much success for you. But like you said, not for the Yankees, specifically for you. And we know how good those lost shows do. So the voicemails are about to go off, my friend.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and give us a subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel. We're also on all your favorite podcast platforms and social media. Join the community, have some fun. We're here after every game. This is Pinstripe Territory.